And so, hey everyone, this is Siddharth.
Hello, hello. How are you? 1 minute, 1 minute. Pop out. So there is no news today right now, as you can see. Okay, on gold, as we can see it right now, on 30 minutes, price is going to the upside. Price have created this new high. And so if we go to 2 minutes of 1 minute, we can see price is just creating a liquidity over here. This is just a trend line liquidity. So to enter on gold, we need to wait for price to give us a retracement to downside. So as we can see, this is the candle which swept out the liquidity. And from here, price have created this breaker block. So we can expect a move from this OB, like from this order block. So it's not still confirmed. This also looks good. This whole candle, which mitigated this order block. My network is broken. Okay, okay. If you want to watch full screen, you can go on my channel, and there is two streams going on live. The first one is horizontal, and the second one is vertical. So in US 30, as we can see, price have sweep this liquidity. So this candle swept out the liquidity from the left side. So this is our inducement. And so just by looking at this candle, we can confirm that this candle mitigated this candle, which is also a liquidity sweep candle. So price is now continuing to the upside. And so this is a structure break of structure, as we can say. And this order block in 1 hour or 30 minutes, price have mitigated this order block, and now it's going to the upside. So now what we have to do is now we have to find order block which is unmitigated. Okay. So we have this. This is already mitigated. This whole structure is already mitigated. We have this order block which is not mitigated yet. Here. And price is now creating a trend line liquidity to the upside. So now we have this order block for our entry. And here price is continuing to the upside. Also, we can use this for our intraday trades. Okay. Price broke the structure to the upside. Price have created this trend line liquidity. And we have this order block and this order block which is not mitigated. So we have to wait for price to give us a confirmation. So then only we can use this order block for our entry. And what is confirmation? Confirmation is like we have to wait for price to give us some kind of reaction to the upside. For example, if this leg is created and now whenever price is going to the downside, we don't have to enter when price is going to this area, right? When price stops at this area, a candle sweeps out the previous candle's low and then it breaks this high, then only we can look for our entry. For in this case, we have this order block, price tapped this order block, swept out this previous candle, and when price started to go up, we were already in this leg. So what we have to do the same thing in this. So I'll keep this chart on watch list. So whenever price comes, we can look for entry. Okay, on 30 minutes, as we can see, I may I love your analysis, FX trading. I love to meet you one day. Okay, well, thank you. This means so much. Now, price is creating structure to the upside, and we also know that price is also creating a trend line liquidity. But still, we are in this leg. The price is not giving any sign of a reversal. It's still continuing to upside. And looking at the structure, we can see this candle swept out previous candle's low, and we have this unmitigated order block where we can look for our entry to the upside. So this is on lower time frame. Thank you for your efforts to guide us. Thank you so much. So we can use this as our entry on lower time frame. So we can use like 0.5% risk to enter at these trades. As we know that when we try to use 4 hour and 50 minutes as a higher time frame, lower time frame, we can use 5 minute and 30 seconds or 50 seconds, 15 seconds or 1 minute on super low time frame. Like we can use this to enter at our trades. Okay, right now as we can see, this is our structure high. So there is thing called structure mitigation. In this, what happens? Price will only mitigate the structure. Price does not have to mitigate our whole order block. It will just mitigate this structure and it can continue the upside. So we can use this as our analysis. On 15 minutes, we can see we have this pin bar candle which have already mitigated this structure. It's still not mitigated, but it's showing signs of price is going to the upside, right? So in 30 minutes, 1 minute, 4 hour, 5 minute, we can see this is our 5 minute order block. let's look at Euro USD. So on Euro USD, the whole structure to the upside is mitigated. Okay, so we can see the whole structure is mitigated. So just by looking at the 4 hour, we can see this candle is mitigated. This structure is mitigated. This all the lower time frame structure is mitigated. So price is creating more liquidity to the upside than the downside. Okay, and here price have created this imbalance, fulfilled this imbalance. So I like to see liquidity sweep on imbalances. So here there was this trend line liquidity and there was this imbalance where price swept out this previous low. Okay, price already swept out this previous low. Again, price swept out this previous low, and now it's continuing to the upside. So here, what we have to now understand is this is the candle which swept out the previous low. So here we still have this imbalance left, and price in future, not today, not tomorrow, maybe in this week, next year, we don't know. This imbalance will be fulfilled. Okay, and right now price have already tapped this order block, so it's creating a trend line liquidity above this order block. So what we have to do is we can go to lower time frame and look for a lower time frame order block where we can look for entry. So in this, price started to take liquidity from this area. We have another this candle, so we can use this whole area as our order block. For example, if you are using this for our entry, we'll put our stop loss below this low. Okay, or we can look for a change of pattern in the structure. So there are two things we can do, and whole structure is our next target. Like everything is mitigated, so price does not have any reason to stop at this unmitigated order blocks because everything is mitigated, and we can look for upside trades. And right now we know that price can, in future, it can tap at this area and then it can continue the upside. But right now on 4 hour, we know price is going to the upside. So here 5 minute, we know right now price is going to upside. So in future it will tap this area or this area. That's why I like to keep my stop loss which can cover at least 2-3 order blocks and lower time frame, because no one knows in which order block will be exactly tapped, right? So here price created a trend line liquidity. Every order block is mitigated here, so it creates more liquidity, and this move swept out this low. So we can use this as our order block. Some people call it order flow, and now this is mitigated. So this is our strong low. We swept out the liquidity and broke the structure to the upside, and this is where there is order block and breaker block is forming. So this is our breaker block. This is order block which broke the structure, but it failed to continue to the upside, downside. That's why this is our breaker block, and this is our order block. So we can use this whole area as our order block, because this breaker block and this move which swept out the liquidity is order block on higher time frame, right? So if you go to 30 minutes, we can see this candle, this whole candle, 30-minute candle, swept out the liquidity and mitigated area, which also this also candle swept out previously. So we can use this whole area to mark a change of pattern, or use this as POI for our next entry. And the next liquidity will be our target. So in this case, same thing, because we don't know when price will tap this area. Right now price is still creating strong lows, so we will try to catch this move, and we will not wait for price to come at this area. Now we have to wait for price to create more liquidity, so we can look for entries. So this is our area where we can look for entry. Hello, kids love. So on 30 minutes, price already swept this previous low. It's doing the same thing. Price swept this previous low, and now it's still continuing to the upside. But we can wait. We will wait for price to create a more clear structure. On GBP USD, I shared this call on my group. This one, where price here, there was this point of interest, right? So what people do is just imagine if I have marked this order block, and now a lot of people are trying to enter at this order block, like POI, which was created in June 2025, right? So there will be a lot of stop loss below this area. So if price shifts the liquidity from this low, where will it go? Like to the opposite direction. Because this structure liquidity and this internal liquidity, right? This is our internal liquidity, your external liquidity. So if price sweeps out internal and external liquidity, in which direction price will go? Obviously, it will go to the another direction, to the next side. Whereas this is our liquidity. So, and now on lower time frame, we have to mark the same thing. Order block, which broke the structure, inducement, also a change of character. Again, so this is not the confirmation. Confirmation is here. Price tapped or POI, external liquidity swept, structure break to the upside. Here we have the order block, and this is where things get interesting, where we can look for multiple entries, like price created new structure break. This is order block, new entry, same thing. I like to catch this whole move to the upside. Right now, it's doing the same thing. If you haven't liked the stream, please like it. So on XRP, similar thing is happening. We can see price have created lots of liquidity to the downside here. Okay, but still the internal structure is going to the upside. Like price have broke the previous structure over here and created new high, and this candle swept this all liquidity and shifted the liquidity to the upside. So now here the thing is, we can see price have created this imbalance. So if we go to lower time frame, we can see this was the candle which swept out the liquidity. So this is our order block. This was the order block which was going to the downside, created liquidity, and now because of price was going to the upside, it broke the structure. Like it broke this order block. Now it acts as a breaker block, and to the left side we have this. This is our breaker block. This is our order block. So price have tapped this breaker block, and if you want to look trades for the upside, we can look for a chain of pattern over here. We can mark this whole area as our order block, and we can look for buy side trades and put our stop loss above this external liquidity which was created here on the 18th July. So you can look for buy side trades over here. Another similar area where price can react is here. But this is a good entry where price taps the liquidity sweep area rather than looking for a extreme order block. Okay. So on XRP USDT, we can look T. You can see same thing happening. Liquidity sweep, order block broke. This becomes or break a block, order block again, and you can use this area for looking for buy side trades. Stop loss will be below this low. Next high will be our target. So this is a simple setup. So this order block, this breaker block swept out this liquidity, this trend line liquidity. Breaker block is failed order block. Price, this order block was failed, and because the momentum was to the upside, price failed this order block and it becomes breaker block, and this is a new order block. Price will tap this area and it can continue the upside, and you can look for multiple entries to the upside. And if this area fails, then because this are two consecutive green candles, it becomes inducement. When price breaks this area and creates an imbalance, then we can look for a sell side entry, and this is where price will start to create a pullback. But I don't think so price will do this, because there is a lot of liquidity left at this high, which is external high. Hello, hello. We still continue upside. We missed this trade because I think price tapped this order block and continuing. Now we have to wait for another area where we look for our entry. So this is the area, new area. A pin bar candle which swept out previous lows and created new high. But we have to wait for price to create more liquidity. Here we already had this lows and highs. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment sections. We can wait for price to retest this area. Again, it will continue to the upside. If you haven't liked the stream, please like it. To locate the exact point of interest is sometimes an issue at times. So what I do is I don't like to wait for price to give a point of interest. For example, if like a point of marking point of interest is very simple, where what you have to do is you have to mark order block which did inducement and then broke the structure to the upside. For example, in this case, price swept this previous low and broke the price broke the structure to the upside, right? So this is our point of interest. But thing is, what price does is it does not react from this order block, and that's why I missed the trade. So for example, in this case, price sweeps this liquidity, and we mark this order block, and then price sweeps out more liquidity from this lows. So what we have to understand is, what people do is they try to use imbalance in the wrong way. So in this case, if price is giving us multiple imbalances, right? This is our imbalance, second this imbalance. It's showing that willingness that now price is going to the upside. So we have to use this as a direction. Okay. So if I am marking this as a POI, I'm not waiting for price to come at this area. Even if price comes, then I'll eventually look for buy side trades. But right now, I look for continuation trades on lower time frame. For example, I am on 30 minutes right now. So here, just by looking at this higher time frame, we can see this candle, again this candle. So price pushed this price to the downside and then created this new high. So this is where you can look for multiple entries to the upside. So you can use this order block which swept out this previous structure and then created new high. Entry stop loss below this area. Next high target, or and then you can continue to the upside. Again, same thing. Price broke the structure to the upside. This candle swept out previous lows here. And this is the candle which sweep the liquidity. You can enter here also. Next high target, then price, because same thing is repeating again itself. This whole area is now mitigated. So there is no reason for price to react from any of this order block because everything is mitigated. And to push price to the downside, price needs more like orders to go to the downside, right? So what price will do instead, it will only sweep the liquidity from this, like this trend line liquidity, and then it can continue the upside. So again, price broke the previous structure. Again, you can look for the same thing. You don't have to wait for price to come at this POI and then you have to wait for price to give us change of factor and then look for the same trades. It's better to trade continuation trades. It's much easier than waiting for price to create this pro trend, again this counter trend, and look for entries here. So XRP is going to the upside. Here we can see this is our order block on low and diaphragm. Now price will react from this area to downside. So I'll change the chart here. Okay. So on lower diaphragm, what people say is price broke the structure to the downside and they'll look for sell side trade. But what happening? Price will, like, this is how price traps you. Okay. So this is the order block which pushes the price to the downside. But what we have to understand is if price if price wants to go to the downside, it will create multiple structures. Like for example, this is one leg. Price will create multiple liquidity over here, and then price will shoot, and then it will go downside. But in this case, price induce this low. Okay, this structure, and now because this is order block, price this have some kind of orders. Like this will have some kind of orders, which push the price to the downside. But price will react from this area, which will lead to a new liquidity sweep setup. Okay, which will lead to a new liquidity setup. If price like this order block will push price to the downside, which will create a new liquidity setup, and again price will break this area. So this is where we can look for our sell second entry and multiple entries to the upside. So this is just a probability. It's not like this will exactly happen like this. And this candle now swept previous low, so we can expect a good move to the downside. And once price breaks this high and creates a new high, we can move our stop loss to the upside. So this will have new strong low. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say over here. Let's look at US 30. We have this area. So in XRP, we can see now price will break this breaker block and it will create a new order block. This is where we will try to we will put our stop loss below this low. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. If you haven't liked the video, please like it. On USD CHF, we have this liquid sweep. So I'm waiting for price to react from this area. This is a area where we can look for buy side trades, or we can wait for price to sweep this low also, because price have already swept this previous high. So we can only assume that now it's going in the downtrend, right? It's going in the downtrend. So price can sweep this area, like this whole area, and mitigate this order block. So right now, just by looking at the structure, the momentum of price is to the downside because price has swept this external liquidity. So obviously price will go in the next direction, right? And now there is a lot of liquidity sitting below this area. And here, this candle swept out previous lows. So if you go to 50 minutes, we can say there is order block over here. So this is the order block which collected all this liquidity and broke the structure. So we can use this whole thing as our order block. And if we go to refine it, you can see there is order block on higher time frame, and again there is order block here also. Because the stop loss is too big, we can wait for price to create a change of pattern at this area, and we can look for a sell side trade targeting this demand zone or this Quasimodo pattern. So this is around 1 is to 3. But if we manage to wait for price to give us a change of pattern or continuation, we can look for 1 is to 8 trade to the downside. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. Price is now continuing to the upside, and finally price have broken this area. And we can also see that on 5 minute, this previous candle swept out this candle, and we can confirm that this is a good sign that it will continue in this direction. So here what we saw is this is the live creation of a breaker block, and now it will fly. So this is our new order block where we can look for entry on retest. Let's look at gold. Gold is still continuing to the upside. So we can expect a pullback over here in this order block. We can also look for a continuation trades to the upside. But here there is no price have not created liquidity at this order block. But we need to see a new leg start from here, or at least a liquidity sweep. At least it should sweep some kind of candle. How do you know the zone has been mitigated and price won't come back to react it from? How do you know a zone has been mitigated? Mitigation, like if this zone is mitigated, for example, this order block is mitigated, we know that there will be price will create a liquidity over here, right? This will be a trend line liquidity. So if this is liquidity, if this is mitigated, what we have to understand is if structure above this liquidity is mitigated, then price will eventually sweep out all these lows. Like here, this or there was imbalance, price came, fulfill this imbalance. So this structure is also mitigated. This imbalance, price reacted from this imbalance, order block, and now this is also mitigated. So this mitigated, this everything is mitigated. There is no imbalance left. So eventually price will look for an area which is not mitigated. So in gold, right now, what we have to understand is this whole candle mitigated. Sorry, swept out these lows and it created this imbalance. If price creates liquidity here and it sweeps this liquidity, we'll move our point of interest from here to here to new structure. On 50 minutes, we can say this is the move which is created, and now this structure is mitigated. So on 5 seconds, we can expect a new entry over here. Well, let's see how it goes. Okay, this is the candle, but so what we have to look is price should have swept this previous low, but it's creating a trend line liquidity. So probability is much lower here. Let's see. We have our original block over here. Again, this structure is mitigated over here. So this is not a good sign. Unmitigated structure is a good sign that price will continue in our direction. Okay, thanks. Now I understood mitigation. Maybe could you explain how to identify liquid sweep? Liquid sweep is very simple. In this case, if there is liquidity, price creates liquidity. If order block is mitigated and a move comes and sweeps out their lows, like in this case, this low is swept out. So what do you mean by swept out is price goes in this direction and immediately it goes in another direction and breaks the opposite structure. Okay. Price, for example, if this is structure here, if price goes above the structure and immediately breaks the previous structure. So this is a liquidity sweep, or we can call it inducement. So this is our order block, and if this stays unmitigated, it is a good sign that price will go in our direction. If this gets mitigated, then probably I think price will go to the upside and it will sweep and again create a new liquidity sweep. We want price to create more liquidity to the upside and just sweep that liquidity instead mitigate this order block. Okay, here price is doing the same thing. It did not mitigate this order block. It just created liquidity and swept that liquidity. And this is a liquidity sweep happening live. And this is where if price continues ahead to the upside, we can put our stop loss at the break even. Here, this is a good sign that it will hit our target. Now price have created the imbalance. So here, as we are on 15 seconds, what we have to understand is on lower time frame, price had different targets, right? For example, here price created this liquidity, this VIX, it swept the liquidity and created new high. So now this low is protected. It is creating more liquidity, and now it will go to the upside. So if you go to lower time frame, we can see we don't have to wait for price to come and fulfill this imbalance because we are already entered from here, right? Now what we want to see, if price sweeps this liquidity, fulfill this imbalance, and continues to upside. And if this happens, then we'll put our stop loss under this low because this is our new strong low. And on higher time also we have to do this. It's same on every time frame. It's not just because I'm 15 seconds is different from 5 minutes or 15 minutes. It's literally same on every time frame. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. Until and unless if price does like this, for example, here, okay, imagine this is our low. Okay, price sweeps out the liquidity. It created this block, created new high, created liquidity, and again this candle directly went to the downside and broke the structure to the upside and create more liquidity. And now this low sweeps fulfill this imbalance, and if this breaks to the upside, we can consider it as new strong low. If this breaks to the upside, this is our new strong low where we can put our stop loss to the here break even. It's already at break even. So this is our breaker block failed, like future breaker block if price breaks. And no one knows if price will continue higher or not because already we have been seeing this rally. So we can see that it can go in the consolidation. We don't know exactly. I'm just using this target based on 1:3, nothing else. Even I don't know where can price go to. I'm just using stop loss trail as targets. And if this imbalance it gets fulfilled, as I already said, if imbalances get fulfilled, probably we'll see some kind of rejection from this area. And probably it will not go in our direction. If price consolidates too much, it's probably going to go in consolidation. We want to enter like quick moves like this. Structure break, this entry. On 50 minutes, we can see this candle swept out previous candle's low. So it should continue higher. 1 minute, everything looks like consolidation. Here we can see there is price is creating trend line liquidity. Here we can expect price to tap this order block. भाई आप एसडी में काम करते हो भाई आप आईसीटी में काम करते हो यस ब्रो my strategy is different like it's combination of ICT SMC and my strategy it's a mix of everything I don't use any specific model I just use the logic behind it you can expect a reaction like it will create a liquidity over here and it will sweep this liquidity and continue higher I think so. Okay bro. This is creating more liquidity to the downside. Now we can see because price have swept this previous low, this candle on 15 seconds, it should continue higher now. This is a good sign. And creating more imbalances led to in our direction. This is a good sign. I'll have to practice on charts and maybe inquire more on the extent. Yeah, I'll try to come to like I want to do regular streams. Again, price on 30 seconds we can see it should go to the downside, and again we have to look for a new inducement setup so we can put our stop loss below that. If you haven't liked the stream, please like it so it gives me more motivation to come regularly. Okay, on XRP, price reacted from this order block and it's creating more liquid to the upside. Let's see what happens. This candle swept out this previous candle and it should continue higher now. If you haven't liked the stream, please like it. So, all right, I'm ending this trading session over here. I'll catch you up tomorrow. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please like the stream. Also, please come regularly at this time. Thank you for watching.